When Netflix launched Prince Harry's much-anticipated Polo documentary, the buzz surrounding it promised a peek into the royal's life post-Megxit, focusing on his passion for polo as a form of escape and resilience. However, an explosive new interview with Nacho Figueras, Harry's longtime friend and polo teammate, has turned the spotlight onto Meghan Markle's alleged role in what some are calling an orchestrated PR disaster. Figueras, known for his diplomacy and loyalty, broke his silence in a manner that left many questioning whether the Sussexes' public narrative is crumbling under the weight of manipulation and overexposure. In his candid remarks, Nacho reportedly hinted that Harry's Netflix Polo project was marred by external influences, pointing fingers not so subtly at Meghan Markle. The Argentine polo star, who has often stood by Harry's side over the years, suggested that the documentary failed to present an authentic version of the prince's story, veering instead into territory that seemed more like a polished, Markle-centric production than a genuine exploration of Harry's life. This has reignited criticism of Meghan's alleged penchant for controlling the Sussex brand, fueling accusations that she has turned Harry into a pawn in her relentless pursuit of fame and relevance. But how much truth is there to Figueras' claims, and what does this mean for Harry's increasingly fragile reputation? Critics have long accused Meghan Markle of having an outsized influence on Prince Harry's career choices and public endeavors since their departure from royal life in 2020. While Harry has consistently presented himself as an independent voice, detractors claim that his projects are often overshadowed by Meghan's ambition to remain in the limelight. The Netflix Polo documentary, which was supposed to showcase Harry's love for the sport, is being cited as a prime example of this dynamic. Reports from insiders involved in the production suggest that Meghan had a significant say in the creative direction of the documentary, allegedly insisting on edits that framed Harry as a victim of his royal upbringing and a champion of her vision for a more progressive monarchy. Figueras' recent comments appear to corroborate these whispers, with the polo legend implying that the project became less about Harry's personal journey and more of a vehicle for Meghan's broader narrative. This development has further fueled speculation that Meghan's influence has not only alienated Harry from his family but also compromised the authenticity of his public persona. Critics argue that by trying to make Harry's story fit her own narrative of overcoming oppression, Meghan has inadvertently stripped him of his individuality. The backlash against the Polo documentary is just the latest in a series of controversies surrounding the Sussexes' public projects, many of which have been accused of prioritizing spectacle over substance. It's no secret that public sentiment toward Meghan Markle has been polarizing from the outset. While her fans view her as a trailblazer who challenged the British royal establishment, her detractors see her as a calculating opportunist who has exploited her royal ties for personal gain. Nacho Figueras' remarks have added fuel to the latter narrative, with social media erupting in debates over whether Meghan's involvement in Harry's projects is doing more harm than good. One particularly damaging claim is that Meghan's alleged micromanagement of the Netflix documentary alienated not only Figueras but also other key figures in Harry's circle. Insiders have described tensions during production, with some accusing Meghan of being overly controlling and dismissive of creative input that didn't align with her vision. These reports, combined with Figueras' thinly veiled critique, have led some to question whether Meghan's influence is isolating Harry even further from the people who genuinely care about him. Critics have also pointed out that the documentary's lukewarm reception is indicative of a broader problem, the Sussexes' overexposure. With multiple high-profile interviews, a best-selling memoir, and a string of Netflix and Spotify deals, the couple's constant presence in the media has led to accusations of hypocrisy. After all, how can they claim to value privacy while simultaneously airing their grievances on the world stage? Meghan, in particular, has been singled out for what some perceive as her relentless self-promotion, with Figueras' comments being interpreted as a subtle acknowledgement of this pattern. Nacho Figueras' remarks have reignited discussions about the so-called Markle effect and its implications for Harry's relationships. Since stepping back from royal duties, Harry has reportedly grown more distant from lifelong friends and family members, a change that many attribute to Meghan's influence. Figueras' willingness to speak out, albeit indirectly, has been seen as a sign that even Harry's closest allies are beginning to question the direction his life has taken. The timing of Figueras' interview is particularly noteworthy. It comes amid growing speculation that the Sussexes' popularity is waning, with several high-profile projects failing to generate the kind of acclaim they once enjoyed. Critics argue that Meghan's apparent tendency to position herself as the driving force behind Harry's success is backfiring, creating a narrative in which Harry appears less like a partner and more like a supporting character in Meghan's story. This perception has been bolstered by other recent controversies, including the fallout from Harry's memoir, Spare. While the book offered a deeply personal account of Harry's life, many readers felt that it was overly focused on grievances, with Meghan's influence looming large over its tone and content. Figueras' comments about the Netflix documentary have only added to the sense that Harry's voice is being overshadowed, raising questions about whether his projects are truly reflective of his own experiences and values. If Nacho Figueras' interview is indeed a turning point, it may signal the beginning of a broader reckoning for the Sussexes. For Harry, the challenge will be to reclaim his voice and establish a public identity that feels authentic and independent from Meghan's influence. For Meghan, the task will be to address the growing perception that her involvement in Harry's projects is more about self-promotion than genuine collaboration. The fallout from the Netflix Polo documentary serves as a cautionary tale for the couple as they navigate their post-royal lives. While their decision to step back from royal duties was framed as a quest for freedom and authenticity, the controversy surrounding their public endeavors suggests that they are struggling to strike the right balance. Figueras' comments have only underscored the need for the Sussexes to reassess their approach, particularly if they hope to rebuild trust with their audience and repair strained relationships with those closest to them. Nacho Figueras' critique of Prince Harry's Netflix documentary has opened a Pandora's box of questions about Meghan Markle's role in shaping the Sussexes' public image. While Figueras stopped short of directly blaming Meghan, his remarks have been widely interpreted as a subtle indictment of her influence. For critics of the Sussexes, this is yet another example of Meghan prioritizing her own narrative at the expense of authenticity and collaboration. As the backlash continues to unfold, one thing is clear: the Sussexes are at a crossroads. Whether they can recover from this latest controversy will depend largely on their ability to address the growing perception that their projects are more about spectacle than substance. For Harry, the challenge will be to reclaim his voice and prove that he is more than a supporting player in Meghan's story. For Meghan, the task will be to demonstrate that her influence is a force for good rather than a source of division and controversy. Time will tell whether they rise to the occasion, or whether Figueras' remarks mark the beginning of a deeper unraveling.